Hi there, it's Kalymnios from thethoughtgym.com. Welcome to today's yoga video, which is going to be a quick, easy, intermediate level flow, but probably accessible to all levels. So give it a go even if you don't think you're an intermediate level person. So we're going to start lying on our backs to begin with. So come in comfortable position. Hopefully the light isn't going to block your view too much. It's right into my face here. But let's come into Malasana legs, so bringing the feet together and the knees slightly apart here. One hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Let's just take a couple of breaths just to tune in. So breathing into the belly, allowing the hand on your chest to rise. The hand on your belly to rise. The hand on your chest will remain where it is. Breathing in and out of the nose and in and out of the belly. Allowing the belly to rise up on the inhale. Exhale allows the hand on the belly just to start to head towards the ground. Okay, allow the knees to soften, the thighs to soften, the knees to relax, draw towards the ground. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then from there, opening the eyes and bringing the feet, setting up as if you were going to come into a bridge position. So knees are bent, feet on the floor. From here, we're going to take the right leg over the left thigh, drawing the knees one on top of each other as if you're crossing your legs sitting in a chair, and then draw both knees over towards the left side. Okay? So, towards the right side. So bringing the knees over towards the right side, and then you should maybe feel something along the outer left thigh. And then the left arm can go up and over as if it's like a flag waving in the wind. And that's heading towards the right side as well. And then just taking a quick counter pose over to the other side. So keep the cross of the legs the same and just draw them over towards the left. And extend the right arm out away from you. And then coming back into centre. Swapping the legs, so crossing the left leg over the right leg here. Good, and then taking both knees over towards the left hand side. And again, the right hand can come up and over the head as if it's like a flag waving in the wind. Maybe you feel it on the outer edge of the right hip. And then coming back, taking the counter pose to the other side. Good. And then coming back to centre. And unraveling the feet, keeping the knees bent, the feet on the floor, setting up for bridge, so the feet are just about so you can touch it with the hands. And then you're going to tuck the pelvis under, roll up vertebra by vertebra, engaging the glutes and the thighs as you draw the hips up towards the sky here. And then you imagine that you're grabbing hold of like a football or something in between your knees, and then releasing back down towards the ground. Extend the legs away from you, but not completely straight, so that there's a slight bend in the knees, almost like about 4 to 6 inches from the back of the knee to the floor. And this particular exercise comes from foundation training, which is quite a nice training you can look up, foundation or foundational training. But anyway, all you need to do is root down the heels towards the ground, so the heels are anchored towards the ground, and it's almost like you're coming up into bridge again. So you're rolling up and you're engaging the glutes. It's quite strong on the hamstrings, this one as well. You come up, hold it there, and release down towards the ground. From there, bringing both knees in towards the chest, rocking forwards and backwards a few times, forwards and backwards, massaging the spine before coming up into your tabletop position. Knees underneath the hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists in a line. Taking a few cycles of cat and cow. As you inhale, gaze forward, dip the belly down, tilt the tailbone back, draw the front of the elbows and biceps, or the elbow creases and biceps towards the front. Exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin, bring the pelvis forward, opening up the upper back. Inhale, forward gaze. Exhale, gaze to navel. A couple more times, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Good, and then coming into a neutral tabletop position, and then bringing the hands forward into puppy dog. So we're going to extend the arms forward, keep the hips over the knees, draw the chest and maybe the forehead towards the ground. You can either be on your fingertips like I am at the moment, or sometimes what I like to do is come onto the heels of the hands as well and press the hands away and keeping the palms up as if you're high-fiving someone in front of you, or you may just want to put your hands flat on the ground like a normal child's pose or downward dog. You can even, if you've got the space, you can bring the chest or the chin towards the ground. I'm just going to keep my forehead on the ground. You want to keep your hips over your knees here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Good. And then scooting forward, coming onto Sphinx pose, so bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, lowering the rest of the body to the ground, drawing the chest forward, gazing forwards, releasing the shoulders, taking Sphinx for a moment here. From here, releasing the hands underneath the shoulders, setting up for Cobra. As we inhale, draw the chest forwards, open up into our Cobra. Coming back down towards the ground. This time I'm going to take Cobra, but releasing the hands off the ground. So inhale up, bring the hands off the ground. Maybe you come up a little bit less than you did before, and then releasing back down. One more time as you inhale up, coming up into Cobra, and release back down. From there, pushing back, finding your way into child's pose here, as you can either have your knees hip width apart and toes together, or the knees together and underneath you, or somewhere in between is totally fine too. So taking a few breaths here in child's pose, allowing the hips to sink down towards the ankles, extend the arms out in front of you, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, from there coming up into downward dog, so tucking the toes, elevating the hips, hands hip shoulder width apart, index finger or middle finger pointing forwards, feet about hip width apart. Slight pigeon toe in the feet so that you can see the toes but you can't see the inside of the heels, and then drawing the chest towards the thighs, trying to get that inverted V shape, that straight back. Maybe the knees are still bent. Better to have bent knees and the straight back than the other way round. And then drawing the hip bone or the hip tail, I'm not sure what I'm saying now, like the hip up towards the back of the room. From here, inhale the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the right hip over the left, taking a twist in the lower waist here and not the upper chest. Keeping both hands pressing through the ground equally, drawing the left heel down towards the ground, opening up into like our scorpion dog here. Then squaring the hips, extend the leg away from you and draw the right knee in towards the right tricep. Then lower the knee towards the right wrist, across up to the left tricep, back to the center, back to three-legged dog. From here, bring the knee back in towards the nose and step the hand or the foot inside of the right hand into our long lunge, low lunge. Inhale, easy twist, right hand extends up towards the sky, twisting, drawing that right hip back as you do so. Release the right hand down towards the ground, lower the left heel towards the ground, setting up for warrior one legs. Inhale, draw the arms up towards the sky, coming into warrior one. So your right knee should be directly over your right ankle and tracking over your second big toe. The left foot is just parallel to the mat or coming up, toes coming up the mat slightly. Pressing through the outside blade or outside edge of that left foot. Inhale, looking up. Okay, so even though your arms are stretching up and engaged, it's like you've got weights on the lower ribs and pulling the arms in the other direction. So you're not pinching up at the neck is the point, and you've got a gap between your ears and the tops of your shoulders. Releasing both hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers. Okay, so interlocking the fingers behind your back. Inhale, draw the hands down the back. Exhale as you bring the right shoulder inside of the right knee. Keeping the hands plastered together as you Draw the hands up and over, trying to get them towards the floor. They may never get there. And then the crown of the head is rooting down towards the ground as you take humble warrior. Remembering to keep the legs active and strong. And then releasing both hands down towards the ground and creeping the hands into the center, keeping the legs exactly as they are. Okay, so warrior one legs. Inhale the right hand up towards the sky, taking a twist. And then releasing the right hand down, straightening the right leg, turning the right toes in, coming into a forward fold, edges of the legs or edges of the feet parallel to the mat as you come into a forward fold. Take both hands over to the left ankle here as you take a forward fold and a twist. Then taking both hands over to the right ankle, forward fold and twist. Hands back to the center, turn the right foot out here. Unplug the back heel as you come into a long lunge here. Take the right foot out towards the edge of the right mat, right side of the mat. We come into a wider stance on our long lunge here, setting up for lizard pose. So lowering the left knee down towards the ground. You can lower the left knee and keep it lowered and flatten the back foot. And then if you've got space, you can bring one forearm or both forearms down towards the ground here. If you want, you can tuck the back toe and lift the back knee, make it a little bit stronger, and then rocking forwards and backwards and backwards. Okay, and then from there, stay there for a little bit. Or now we're going to come back up. So placing the hands down, stepping back up, we find our way into our high lizard here, and then step back, downward facing dog. From here, downward dog, you can stay here or take a child's pose, or if you want, you can come with me through our first vinyasa. So we roll through to high plank, bring the chest forward, lower the shoulders down to elbow height, keep the elbows stacked over the wrists. Inhale as we swoop up into upward dog as the sun blares into my face here. I have to close the eyes, it's blinding, and then tucking the chin, rolling back, downward facing dog here. Okay? Breathing here. Left side as we inhale, left leg up towards the sky, stack the hip, bend the knee, take that little twist in the hip, and then on the lower back, keeping the arms straight and pressure going through both arms as equal as possible. From there, back into three-legged dog, squaring the hips up, and then bring the knee towards the left tricep into our high plank. Lower knee to left wrist, across to right wrist, up to right tricep, and back into three-legged dog. And then knee to nose, stepping it through between the hands. Rooting the right hand down, inhale left hand up as you take an easy twist here. Remembering to draw that left hip back or right hip forward, feeling that sensation. Releasing the right hand and left hand down to the ground. Placing the back heel onto the ground. Setting up for warrior one on the left side. Inhale draws you up. Again, exhale here. Okay, so your left knee is over the left ankle, left knee is tracking over the second big toe, back foot is slightly in or parallel to the edge of the mat, hips are square, pressure going through the outside edge of the back foot and the big toes of both feet as you breathe and look up towards the sky. Interlacing the fingers behind your back, this time taking the opposite interlace, so the awkward way to interlace. And then exhale, taking humble warrior. So left shoulder inside the left knee. Crown of the head aims towards the ground. Hands are clasped. Heels of the hands together. Drawing the hands up and over. From here, releasing the hands. Bringing the hands into the center of the mat. Keeping the knees, the left knee bent. And then inhaling left hand up towards the sky. And then releasing back down. Turning the foot in, or maybe it's out, who knows. So the edges are parallel to the edges of the mat. Taking your forward fold here. And then taking both hands over to the right ankle. Taking a forward fold and twist. And then both hands over to the left ankle, taking a forward fold and a twist. And then from there coming back into the warrior 2 or warrior 1 legs. And then unplugging the back foot as you bring the hands towards the front of the mat. Scooting the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Hands are inside of the left foot. Shin and forearm are parallel. Lower the back knee towards the ground. Flatten the back foot if you wish to stay on the knee. And then coming down to the forearm of the front, at the front. Okay, so the forearms at the front is going to be slightly different. Maybe I'm a little bit tighter on this side. If you want, you can tuck the back foot and lift the back knee. That can be quite nice as well. And if you want, you can just rock forwards and backwards as we hold this lizard pose. Okay, so up to you whether you have the knee on the ground or not, and whether you're on the forearms or maybe you're on one forearm or maybe just on the hands. Either way, coming back up onto the hands now, and then stepping back into downward facing dog. Yeah, and from there, stepping or drawing the right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog, and step the right leg in between the hands. Okay, so long lunge again. Inhale brings you upright with the knee, left knee coming up, leg bent into our proud warrior here. From here, so right hand is going to come underneath the left, Garudasana arms or eagle arms. We try and interlace the hands together, and then we're going to cross the right, left leg over the right, bend the right leg slightly, draw the elbows up and away and the forearms away, and then lower down as we then release the leg, coming into warrior 3 with Garudasana or eagle arms. Okay, so the left leg comes behind you, hips are square, thighs are engaged, foot is active, fingertips are pulling towards the front of your space. Good. And then releasing both hands to the ground, taking a standing splits as we bring the left leg up towards the sky, chest towards the right thigh, and then step back into a long lunge here. Okay. From our long lunge, step back, three-legged dog. Either come into downward dog and a roll through to your vinyasa, or come through a one-legged vinyasa, keeping the leg elevated, lowering it to the ground for your upward dog, or possibly a cobra, tucking the chin, rolling back, downward facing dog. Breathe in here, downward dog. And then coming into child's pose for a little bit of a rest here. From child's pose, coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. And then drawing the knee towards the chest, stepping the foot forwards, coming into our long lunge. Inhale, draws the right knee forwards and up, coming into our proud warrior. From here, left hand underneath the right hand, Garudasana arms here, hooking the elbows under each other, and then crossing the right knee over the left, sinking down into your chair. Oh, watch the balance. Okay, I lost concentration there for a second. So forearms away, sitting down. Then folding over the legs, then unraveling the leg, coming into warrior 3, keeping the cross of the arms, keeping the hips square, foot active in both cases, legs active. Good, and then from there unraveling the arms, coming into your standing splits, and stepping back into the long lunge, hands onto the floor, coming back into three-legged dog, and then again taking that one-legged vinyasa, roll through, come down through chaturanga, lower the leg, inhale into your upward dog or cobra, tucking the chin, rolling back, downward facing dog. From there, bending the knees, either stepping or jumping the feet either side of the hands and coming down into a Malasana or Yogi squat. So heels on the mat, toes off the mat, generally speaking. Coming into a seat here as you bring the elbows inside of the knees, hands into prayer position, rooting the tailbone down, straightening through the spine, crown of the head to the sky. Okay, coming down as low as is comfortable for you. The heels are on the ground, great. If not, maybe you pop something underneath them. Maybe you'll get there one day. From there, releasing the hands down towards the ground and extending the legs, elevating the hips, taking a forward fold as you heel toe the feet together and fold into a forward fold. And then from there, making your way to the ground. Good. And then releasing all the way down towards the ground. Keeping the knees bent, crossing the right ankle over the left, coming in to thread the needle here. So keep the right foot, oh the sun is right in my eyes, keep the right foot nice and active. Thread both hands round the left thigh. Right elbow pushing the right thigh away. Left foot can just release. Keep the right foot active. And then you're slowly drawing that left thigh towards the chest. You're pulling on the thigh whilst pushing the right thigh away from you, creating like a figure four. Maybe you bring the back of the upper back off the ground, or the head towards the head towards the ankle, whatever's comfortable. Be careful with your knees, guys, and then releasing. You never feel any pain. You should always feel a bit of a stretch, a bit of work, but never a twinge or pain or sharpness. Okay, other side, so left ankle over the right knee. Again, pushing the left knee away. This may be a different sensation than the other side. It certainly is for me. Thread the needle as you grab hold of the right thigh. Left elbow onto the left thigh. Release and relax the right foot. Activate the left foot. Start drawing the right thigh towards the chest. Maybe lifting the forehead off the ground towards the knee. For me, this side is so much tighter. I mean, literally 6-8 inches away now compared to what it was on the other side. So you just know that the different sides are going to be slightly different. They're probably not going to be as different as mine. I had a long-standing injury which made me kind of walk a bit funny, and it's tightened up that entire left chain. So needs a lot of work, but we'll get there. We get there, one step at a time. Good. And then releasing, unraveling. Yeah, just windscreen wipering the knees from side to side. Okay, this next one, you may, if you've got a strap or a belt or a towel nearby, wish to use it. If not, you don't need to. I'll grab mine just so I can demonstrate if you do want to use it. Extend the left leg out, bring the right knee in. And then first step is just going to take left hand onto the right knee and draw the knee over towards the left, just taking an easy spinal twist, extending the right arm away. If you want a little bit more, you can either grab hold of the foot with the left hand and extend the foot away. It doesn't have to go straight, but you'll feel a little bit more in the IT band and also in the glute. If you do have a belt or a strap, you can strap that around the ball of the foot and hold on to the left hand and extend the right heel away from you, and then you can fully extend the leg because you can hold the strap further away from the foot, and that might suit you better than grabbing hold of the foot and keeping the knee bent. So any of those three options is fine. Bent knee, straight knee with the strap, or bent knee and just a spinal twist. And then releasing, bending the knee, coming back onto your backs, and extending the right leg away, bringing the left knee in, and again, either taking the easy twist onto the right hand side, so taking the right hand onto the right knee, or grabbing hold of the outside edge of the foot, or putting a strap around that left foot, and then extending it away, finding your easy twist there instead. Good. Again, pushing that heel away. Imagine you've got a tug of war going on between your hip and your ankle. And bending the knee, releasing. Bringing both knees in towards the chest, hands on the knees, taking some small circles into the hip here as you, almost like you're stirring a pot of porridge or something, and stir the other way. Good. And then bringing the hands to the outside edges of the feet, taking happy baby, soles of the feet to the sky, pushing down here. And slowly releasing into your Shavasana. Feet flop open to the corners of the mat, legs nice and long, neck nice and long, arms relaxed, palms facing upwards, about 6 inches away from your hips. Start to soften the breath, release any thoughts that come in and out of your mind as if they're clouds passing over the skylight of your roof. They come in and they come out. We don't attach to them. Our thoughts are just thoughts, our thoughts are not us. Soften the breath. Staying here for as long as you feel comfortable. And as long as you need to integrate what you need to integrate.